Hello and welcome to the Zone Weekly with Zeta Capital. I am Showtime, your guest. I am the Chief Communications Officer at Zeta Capital. And this is going to be a weekly series that is going to go over the statistics and the updates for that week. We're going to start off with some base foundational numbers in this very first episode. We're going to set some lifetime figures, and then each week we'll go over not just the statistics, but as well some project updates as well. To start off, we have a weekly growth of over 440 zones. It's a little slower growth than you would see in other projects that have this massive explosive growth. Having a slower growth number obviously allows things to be a little bit more sustainable. And of course, there's some marketing kicking up in the background as well that's going to start increasing that number, but not to the degree where it becomes completely unsustainable. You do see a lot of projects in DeFi that have explosive growth right out of the gates, and then a very violent crash right after. Of course, they don't have the utility we do, but in addition to that, they do tend to grow a little bit faster, probably way too faster, I should say, than they can actually sustain in the even short term, but definitely in the medium and long term as well. We have the high frequency performance to date of almost 69%, just under 69%. This is, by the way, in a market that you look at equities are down. If you look at metals are actually doing pretty well lately, but metals overall have taken a pretty big hit. Crypto, of course, has taken a big hit. Our high-frequency trading is still up almost 69% to date. And that's pretty incredible. And I think that's just a testament to not just the utility we have, but the professionals that we're working with in order to run and operate that utility. Because it's sort of like having the world's greatest tool, that if you don't have the operator for that tool, then the tool just sits there and looks very pretty. We have the operators behind the tools. So that's what makes Zeta Capital not just unique, but makes the people key, because as I've always said, you can fork projects, but you cannot fork people and skills. And by the way, it's worth mentioning that 69%, almost 69% high frequency trade number is for zone holders, not for the Zeta Capital Fund. So, if you're in the 75 plus zone tier, you have a certain cap. If you're in the 20% tier, obviously you have the 20% cap, 15%, then 10%. What users have experienced in HFT performance is that 68.8% figure to date since launching the high frequency trading utility platform. This is not the performance number of the Zeta Capital Fund, which is actually much higher than that, because the Zeta Capital Fund has no caps. So just worth mentioning, this is what users have actually experienced to date since the high frequency trading utility has launched. A very first in DeFi, bridging DeFi and TradFi, by the way. Total rewards claimed is over $12 million. And what does that number mean? That is the number claimed. In other words, from zones that have been built, people have claimed their tokens. They have claimed over $12 million worth of tokens thus far. Not bad. And that is, again, I believe, testament to the utility in Zeta Capital, given that all of these numbers, and we're going to go over more here as well, OTC, lakes, pools, farm, all sorts of different utility vectors and decision points, allows that 12 million, over 12 million in tokens to actually do something for you, right? To create that passive income, to give you utility that you would typically never be able to get access to. I wouldn't be able to get access to it. And I think that 12.1 million in that of itself is a high number, but it's also a high number in a pretty amazing number given the utility that exists as well. And you will see these utility numbers just continue to go up week after week in addition. And of course, people are compounding. They're putting into the farm. They're going into the pools. They're exchanging OTC. They're going into the lakes, which is exactly what we're going to cover next. The lake level has officially hit $350,000. This is a $500,000 buyback each month that goes on for 28 days. And it allows a rollover of your zone rewards without ever having to pay claim fees, which is pretty it's amazing because it really gives you just another touch point of utility and another decision point in that when you are going into pools, when you are exchanging OTC, when you are compounding zones, you always have to pay that claim fee. You do not have to do so in the lake. You can roll over. I rolled over just before I came on here, myself personally. I've been taking advantage of the lakes a lot. I know Gavin's been taking advantage. I know a lot of community members have been taking advantage of the lake quite substantially, to the degree that's $350,000. So not quite 500K, but we do still have another day or so left. So it's very possible we might have a big run up as well. And those funds will close in about another day or two. And when they do, we'll immediately go into work into the high frequency trading, and it will be an airdrop at the 90-day point. And every 30 days moving forward after that, you will just receive the USD coin in your wallet. This really allows a lot of benefits that I think may not be seen on the front part of this, which is, if you get that USD coin every single month, it allows you to pay your fees, right? So you don't have to pay your claim fees, for example, to grab your Zeta tokens and then sell a portion to then pay your fees that you just paid for, right? That USD coin that arrives every month in your wallet allows you to pay your fees without ever having to have sold your tokens. So if you want to use your tokens for more lakes, for pools, for compounding, this monthly airdrop, if you have enough in the lake, I think really gives a massive advantage to people who are using it, who want to compound and want to, reduce their fees or have their fees just automatically, not automatically, but be paid with that USD coin that does automatically arrive each month. And the total value locked has now officially surpassed $9 million. That is the number of tokens that have been used to create zones. What are those tokens worth? They're actually worth a little more than 9 million, but the math becomes very challenging because of different token prices. If you were to actually go based off of, $100, 180, 199, I think was the all-time high, down to 60. If you were actually to take each one of those points when people created zones, that number would be significantly higher than 9, but 9 million is the conservative number based on the current token price of the number of zones, which is very slowly creeping up to 15,000 already locked into zones at this moment. So it's $9 million worth of Zeta tokens, which is quite a lot. And of course, the OTC volume. We love the OTC that ThorFi, that we've partnered with, has built. We have some updates coming to the OTC very shortly. They're going to be updates that are going to cause the older listings to be sold first, or to be purchased first by buyers, I should say. But the current OTC volume thus far is $660,000. Actually, $662,000, I believe, if I just looked before I came on. But over 660K worth already. And this is USD value. This is not in tokens. This is in about a month. I believe we launched this about 30 days ago. So, more than $500,000 in the very first month. Not bad. We love the OTC. Want to give a big shout out to ThorFi for building that and for continuing to work with us on improvements. Like I said, there are some improvements coming soon, and they're going to allow older listings to be purchased first. But the OTC, if you are looking to either purchase or sell a large amount of Zeta tokens at one time, and you don't want to impact the open market with the volatility, the OTC is the way to go as well. So it gives people an avenue to sell without impacting the price substantially. And it's a peer-to-peer mechanism. So you're exchanging with another user. Smart contract just allows you to do so. So again, to summarize, we have over 440 new zones this week. We're sitting just under 69% in the high frequency trading to date. We have over $12 million claimed in tokens. This is an unbelievable number just to see it on the screen and to say it as well. Over $350,000 in the lake, over $9 million locked in total zones, and over $660,000 in OTC volume. These numbers are likely only to continue to increase as we roll out more updates, more projects that we're working on behind the scenes, and a lot more coming in 2023 for Zeta Capital. Each week we're going to go over these numbers again. We're going to see increases, growth, and as well as project updates. I want to thank you for tuning in to the very first Zone Weekly, and we'll catch you next week. Take care.